Welcome, Panther Nation football fans, to another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo here, talking all things Carolina Panthers, from the postseason to the Super Bowl to the offseason, to the draft, to OTAs, the preseason, and the regular season. Let the growlin' begin. Back, Panther Nation. Glad you guys could join us yet again. Hope you guys are doing well. Not happy to be joining you here with you on a defeat Sunday. Actually, it's a little bit later in the week, but I did not want to do this bad boy, but because this, when you go through an emotional win like we had last week, and then you come back with a performance such as this. And it's not all on Bryce Young. As I always do, I always go through the PFF grades. They pretty much are always in agreement with myself. There are some times that I look at it and say, I don't think that grade matches the players' performance that evening, or whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, we walked away with another home defeat, and now it's starting to begin hear the rumblings of whether or not David Tepper is capable of carrying this franchise to where a vision, or carrying it to the vision that he foresaw when he bought this team. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but I think it's a little early. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, he's had 4 years, and I think for the most part this is an unfair assessment, because we made some decisions early on that have had some lasting effects. I won't get into it, but I'll do another show about why you can't blame David Tepper for the mistakes early. But let's look at the Colts and your Carolina Panthers in this 27-13 defeat, and we fall to 1-7 with the Chicago Bears awaiting us on Thursday night. So that's why this loss was huge, because you pretty much have a walk through Tuesday, and you're packing to go to Chicago Wednesday, and you're playing the game Thursday evening. So pretty much your same game plan for Indianapolis is going to be pretty much your same game plan with Chicago. And you're going to be down C.J. Henderson and Brian Burns with concussions. Probably the only good piece of news we got was Marquise Haynes is possibly ready. We don't know if he's going to dress. But I will say this, that Amari Barno, my boy, got more snaps, and he and Brian Burns had the same numbers. 4 total tackles, 2 solos, except no, they both had a tackle for a loss. So I hope Avero is watching, and as well as Frank Wright, you're watching and seeing that my man Barno is worth the numbers. And we look a hot mess right now. And I'm not saying we're terrible, but in a lot of places we're struggling. You got a 4-5 Indianapolis team, and we were in this game, you guys. We can sit here and we can call it what we want. It was 20-10 at one point. And honestly, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, we have a chance. But this was at this point Bryce had already thrown that pick six. And what's sad about it is he threw pick sixes to the same player, and it's hurtful. I mean, you look at the game when it was 20-10 with about 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and if you take that pick six off the board, with 8:09 left, when Pinheiro kicks a 49-yarder, I mean, let's do a look here. You basically gave up 14 points as far as, I guess you could say, you gave up 14 points based off of turnovers. And you could make an argument for 3 possessions that were given to turnovers. And you can't win that way. And one of the interceptions was a bad throw on a screen. And then you had one throw that was an ill-advised throw. It was not an accurate throw. You throw that out in front of Miles Sanders, he probably takes that a long way because the guy jumps the route. So I'm not happy with the fact that we seem to be running the same things that we were running preseason. I watched the touchdown that Bryce threw to DJ Shark, where Shark didn't even go anywhere. And you had the guy that was covering DJ Shark. He just followed the route. Think about Adam Thielen running the slant route into the end zone. He followed him. And Bryce was just like, look. Oh, snap. There's Shark right there. We need more plays like that. That play was creative and you didn't even realize it. But let's look at... I was just bringing that up because of the reasoning behind so many people are saying that this offense is too predictable. Meanwhile, you got a fellow rookie, C.J. Stroud, out there just balling it out. And guys, I know you don't want to hear much about C.J. Stroud because we passed on him, and Bryce is our quarterback. But I am going to do a show on my brother network, Gridiron Gab Pro Style, and tell you guys why C.J. Stroud is balling. And guys, I want you to check it out because I've already done one show about C.J. Stroud. I'm going to do another one because the guy just broke the rookie record. Another rookie record, you guys. And I know a lot of people saying, oh, don't overreact. They got it going right. Our coaching staff don't. And then Bryce is shook. This could finish him. You guys don't get it. Meanwhile, C.J. Stroud, his confidence is high. Where's Bryce? Anyway, Bryce finished 24-39, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. 2 of them went back for touchdowns. 4 times was he sacked, and numerous times he was hit. Chuba Hubbard had a pretty efficient day, 16 carries, 58 yards. Meanwhile, Miles Sanders went 6 for 39. Bryce Young had 5 for 41, which is something we do need to see more of. Gardner Minshew, 17 of 26, 127 yards. He was only sacked once. Can't ask enough from this Carolina defense. You look at this. Oh, my God. Guys, look at this. 198 yards of total offense compared to 275 for the Panthers. And you lose by double digits. You lose by double digits. Can't happen. Because the reality of it was, Indianapolis was saying to itself, we're not going to beat ourselves. Minshew did not put that ball in harm's way. They basically, in a nutshell, said, hey, we're going to make this rookie make a mistake. And Pittman had a pretty good game. And, of course, there was a couple of bad calls that did not go our way. One being on being a hit on Michael Pittman that they called a personal foul, which, as many of you know, that was not. And I think it was Troy Hill they called it on, if I recall correctly. But anyhow, let us move forward and continue to look. As Frankie Louisville once again had one of his another great phenomenal outing, 11 total tackles. And, of course, Deshaun Williams is playing much better. He had a sack. He had the lone sack today. And it's just becoming a same old now. And it just never doesn't seem to be ending. Mingo had a rough night. 1 catch, had 4 targets, but he only had 1 catch for 5 yards. Shark had 3 targets, but the lone touchdown, 2 catches for 9 yards. Trimble, 2 catches for 12. Miles Sanders, 3 catches for 22. Stephen Sullivan, 4 for 28, but he had 5 targets. Adam Thielen, 6 targets, 5 for 29. Many people say worst performance of the day, but Indianapolis was not going to let him beat him. Hayden Hurst had a 48-yarder, and that he ended up with 2 catches for 54 yards. Really, the only turnovers we had were the interceptions. And the Panthers caused a turnover with Isaiah McKenzie, coughing up one. And we have not been able to get interceptions since J.C. Horn has not been here. Hopefully he's going to be ready real soon. We keep getting updates saying that he's near 100%. He's there, but he's not here. We need him. We need him, guys. We need J.C. Horn. And we can't even sit here and say this guy, him being hurt, because here's the reality. We've got Burns hurt again. We've got, even though Burns does play through it, but this is like the worst time for it to happen yet again. We've been ravaged with injuries. But as I said before, watching this game and just watching how Thomas Brown is not using the entire 53-yard spread of the field. Same thing with Frank Wright. You guys are on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. We know you're going to run some type of slant, or you're going to run some type of stop, curl and stop. And everybody on the field knows it. That's why we can't get first downs. Instead of running something like that, run a guy on a slant and send that running back on a wheel route. I mean, we can't seem to run a blame screen right. It's just disastrous right now, guys. And it's not fun. Especially when you're watching the other quarterback that should have been considered more heavily because of what you did not have. It's not that Bryce was not the right guy for Carolina. It's not the right guy to be number 1. He was not the right guy for us to give away DJ Moore, 3 first-rounders, 2 seconds, and a 3rd. To the point right now, we look like hot garbage, and we don't even have a first pick. There's no way I'm giving Chicago 3 firsts. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you didn't give them first. Yeah, we gave him 3 firsts because DJ Moore was a first. That's right. I would have gave them a first, a second, then DJ Moore. You ain't getting no more than that. You ain't getting no more than that. Because DJ Moore is an established star. You don't get an established star with maybes. Especially a maybe you don't want. But guys, this was just a gut wrencher. It's a heartbreaker, especially yardage wise. Really, there was very few guys, once again, you could say had good games, because it's even hard to even point out any positives in this kind of a game, because it's just like, it's disheartening. The fans are hurt. And that's what I'm here for. And honestly, looking at this type of game, you want to say, when are we going to start taking more shots down the field? And I know what you're going to say. Oh, well, we can't even protect. Well, if that's the case, then we need to run more screens. Where are we on that? Guys, I'm just frustrated, just like you are. The Colts go to 4-5. The Panthers drop to 1-7 and are now officially deep in the cellar. But good thing is you had every NFC South team lose this weekend. So we didn't fall under the quicksand, but we're rapidly falling there. And it's not getting any better. As we turn and look at the PFF grades, it's not getting any better. I mean, Aquano played better. Stephen Sullivan had a pretty darn good game. He's emerging as a top target. Meanwhile, with Ian Thomas slowly falling down the depth chart yet again. And even Tommy Tremble had some good moments. The Lions just got to get better. Hayden Hurst had a better game. Miles Sanders surprisingly played well. Bradley Bozeman had a pretty good game, pushing guys around and whatnot. And once again, Taylor Moton is on this list. Surprisingly, Adam Thielen was here after being the top guy several times. The left guard position, Taylor Throckmorton was on this list, and then Bryce Young bottomed them out. Of course, 2 pick six doesn't help you against anything. But I will say Ike Ekwonu was better this week, so hopefully that starts an upward trend. The top on the defense was DiCaprio Bootle. He played great. This guy was all over the field. Brian Burns was there, but we won't be with him this week. Frankie Louvu, Nick Thurman, Shy Tuttle, who's been knocking down balls left and right. But that's going to be huge. No Burns this week. Let's look at the worst. PFF says C.J. Henderson was bad, Deion Jones, Dante Jackson, Matthias Farley, and Troy Hill. Surprisingly, Troy Hill was on that. But Dante Jackson and Troy Hill had a bunch of missed tackles. And as I said, we have to address these tackles. Because in the NFL, it's all about which teams can make the tackles in open field and make plays in the open field. And right now, our football team is not doing that. We're stinking up the place on third downs, and we are not getting off the field nearly as efficiently. Now, we're not bad, but we were one of the best red zone teams, and we did pretty well. But at the same token, guys, here's the reality. We're not winning games at home. That's a trademark of bad teams. It's a trademark of bad teams when you can't win at home. And now we got to travel and go to the Bears. It's going to be cold. Not cold, but it's going to be cold. And we're going there with a couple of guys banged up. And I don't know what to say. You know, there were even reports whether or not we were going to bench Bryce Young. What for? If the campaign's lost, what's the point in benching him? You know, if we gotten hot and were really committed to winning the division, then this is the thing. Why would you want to win a division and then go get your butts kicked in the first round of the playoffs? A lot of y'all say, well, yeah, go for it. You never know what happens in the tournament. Not when you're like this. You're without Brady Christensen. Corbett's just getting his feet wet. This is game number 2. He's been back. I mean, we can't get that other guard position right. And it's going to cost us. You know, we're already getting beat up at the tackle position. We can't afford to keep getting beat up in positions where we're halfway decent. And we get that fixed. We might as well just be trying to get Bryce Young figured out so we can figure out what we're going to do in the offseason. But again, the Colts 27, the Panthers 13. Panthers fall to 1-7. Guys, I love you, but it's been tough. It has really, really legitimately been tough watching this team this year because you're sitting here watching a team that, in my opinion, has had so many different ways to play the game, and they have not done it. They have not done it, and ultimately, what is the saddest part about this whole thing is we are not executing. And then on top of that, of not executing, we're not capable of doing what we need to do, which is Thomas Brown. You need to mix it up. Now that Frank Reich has given you the reins, in order for us to be successful, you have to be able to present this in a way that we can make this work. We have not thrown it down the field. You have to tell your quarterback, Bryce Young, look, it doesn't always have to be open for him to be open, like a DJ Shark. Get it to him. But anyway, guys, love the feedback that you guys have been giving me. Definitely hit me up sometime, and definitely hit me up and let me know what you guys think, and we shall dialogue a little bit over at Growling and Prowling, and maybe we can go live eventually. But I need, we got 2 more subscribers, you guys, and I need your names, guys. You guys keep forgetting to tell me that you guys subscribe. I know it takes a minute to do that, but please let me know if you're subscribed to this. I definitely want to make sure I give you guys a shout out. But until the next time, you guys, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.